You have now entered the lab, episode 117. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama, just coming off St. Patrick's Day weekend. We now officially into March Madness week. Starts Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, actually. It starts tomorrow a little bit, Wednesday, and then officially on Thursday with the full slew of games. My lab will be popping off with all three TVs. It'll be a fun weekend of sports and entertainment. This episode, of course, presented by Broward Vintage. Go shop them online for all your vintage, current clothing, men's, women's, kids, whatever you need for birthdays, yourself, constantly updating every single day. I think we're up to the point where Broward Vintage is uploading anywhere from 10 to 15 items per day, selling anywhere from 10 to 12 items per day on that. So definitely, if you do buy, definitely leave a review, leave a rating, because Broward Vintage is one of the top rated eBay accounts selling vintage clothing right now. So obviously on episode 115, we had Ben Cohen, the head of Broward Vintage on, and we appreciate his time. So go check that out to get to know him a little bit. But we'll get right into it. Sorry for the delay. I was all ready to go at 7:58, 7:57 maybe.
Knocked out.
And Ford hit me with a text at 7:59 that he just woke up from a nap. Yeah, 7:59, perfect timing. And I know he probably woke up 20 seconds before he sent that, so I gave him a little bit of a grace period. So I appreciate
exactly
you. Thank you for joining us as much for you as much as the other people that are joining in. No preparation for this pod. We did talk a little bit over the week, but we're going into this no preparation, no real conversation before. But how was your week? How was your weekend? Anything St. Patrick's, anything green? And then I'll go into my weekend because it was a little bit more probably eventful than yours. Go ahead, brother.
Damn, dog, you trying to say I'm fucking lame? You trying to say I'm boring? What the fuck's wrong with you, bro? Saying your weekend is more eventful than mine, dog? Come on.
Pop us in, lock it in, like Ben said.
Yeah, I take a little offense to that.
Sorry.
That statement. What, you think because you're a married man or something? You just
No. Actually, I should probably be the opposite. You should be saying it to me, but I just know you're doing your thing. You know, you're hustling. You're keeping a simple life.
Co-host, man.
All right, well, get to the point.
Crazy. Oh shit, my chair went the opposite. Nah, I had a great week. I had a great weekend. I went down to downtown Savannah on Saturday with Shorty and her friends for the parade. We had a good time. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was way more packed than I thought it would be. Way more packed than last year. I don't know why. Because
do people go to Savannah for spring break and they try to vibe?
Dude, St. Patrick's Day is huge here.
Is it? Okay.
Besides Chicago, it's probably the second biggest St. Patrick's Day gathering in the country.
Yeah, New York City could be up there, obviously.
Yeah, it's insane. No, people take that shit serious here for whatever reason. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's some historical meaning behind St. Patrick's Day.
I think a lot of people that you could tell me, but I think a lot of people that live in Savannah probably aren't mostly from Savannah. It's more, isn't it more of a visiting? Like you tend to visit, you tend to vacation, then you tend to stay.
Yeah.
So
no, it's definitely a touristy kind of town for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And people come here just for St. Patrick's Day from everywhere. I had this dude earlier today at the gas station. He's like, yeah, I'm from New York. We came all the way from, where'd he say? He's like, I'm from Yonkers. We came all the way down for St. Patrick's Day. We got our bagpipes band. I was like, nah, that's what's up, man. He's like, yeah, we're driving back today. Say he had to stop in Charleston or some shit. But, nah, I mean, like I said, my week was great. Just been hanging out with the new special someone in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I had the pleasure to
my DMs are closed.
Ooh, I like this. For it.
My DMs are closed from now on.
Sometimes it's needed.
It is needed, and she's very nice to me. And no, she's very nice.
That's funny. I'm not even laughing at you. I'm just laughing because it makes sense. Like that sentence makes sense to me,
dude. And honestly, like everything that I've been wanting and just like looking for the past, I don't know how long, because I haven't been in a relationship in a very long time, almost a decade. Just because my last relationship was really rocky and I wasn't the person that I needed to be and I wanted to be. I took a long time to just be to myself and like really figure myself out as a man and try and better myself, not only for someone else, but for me. Obviously, I was being very selfish with my time, with my resources, with everything I had, and you know, messing around here and there with women and shit like that over the years. I was just
Being a
never,
dog.
yeah, I was just never really fulfilled, paused with how I am
Mm-hmm.
these last few weeks. So everything's
Yep.
been good. I'm
Cool.
enjoying my
Good
time.
vibe.
I'm letting it ride. It's a great vibe, bro. It's a
Good
great
stuff.
vibe.
Yeah, I
So
never
I'm
like to put
very
out personal
excited.
stuff on the other person's end unless you say it first. So I had
Yeah.
the pleasure, and so did Bree, just to
You
chat with that,
were-
other person real quick. You
right.
know, when I'm
Bree
faded, and
FaceTime me and you were in the
yeah,
background like, I don't approve of this. I'm like, dog, it's
yeah,
cool.
Bree does it mostly. She FaceTimes people. She'll have a list of people. She'll just FaceTime when she's hammered. I have a shorter list of people I'll FaceTime. You're one of them. Appreciate you for picking up, and I appreciate the
Of
time.
course.
But and then I mentioned
I'll
that I
always pick
did
up
do
for
that.
you, bro. If I
Thank
can,
you,
if my
man.
phone's not on like do
Of
not
course,
disturb, or I'm like not knocked out, or I'm not busy at
of
work
course.
those 3 times, I'm gonna pick up your FaceTime call, dude.
Understand? Yeah. Somebody like Vito, he knows when he calls me, the first thing he usually says is, "I know you don't like phone calls, so let me get to the point." Because
Let me
usually I
get to
don't.
the point.
But if you do get to the point, it's fun. Obviously, a FaceTime when you're wasted is always fun. But
Yeah,
I happened to mention
absolutely.
to her that I FaceTime you, and then immediately before I even realized, she was already hitting send to the FaceTime. So,
No, it's so cool.
yeah,
I
that
love
leads me
Bree,
into
dog.
of course,
I love Bree.
great vibe when the vibe is great.
Vibin.
Yeah, my weekend was we did Renfest. Have you ever done Renfest in South Florida, which is in Deerfield?
No, I have never gone, dog.
So
And it's right down the street from my parents' house where
yeah,
they live
it
now.
is. It's like 10,
And I
15 minutes
just
away from you guys.
yeah, it's at Quiet Waters, right?
Yeah.
Quiet Waters Park. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just never really had the opportunity to go, and I know it's kind of lit, but it was never really my scene. I think now that I'm a little older and I'm a little more open minded, I'll just go to check it out and probably drink a few beers with the homies.
Yep.
But that's all I would do it for, honestly.
I'll be honest, it's not my scene either. Last year was my first year going. For people who don't know that are listening or who have never gone that lives in South Florida, it's basically all February, all March. Every single weekend is a different vibe and not subject. What do I want to say? I'm blanking out. Different theme is what I'm gonna say. So they have medieval. They'll have like this past was leprechauns and all that. They'll have everything you could think of from the from the cosplay universe for 8 to 10 weeks. I went last year. We did what did we do? Pirates? No, we did something. What did we do? We did Vikings last year. This year we did obviously on St. Patrick's weekend. So it was like Shamrock, Leprechaun vibe. It's a good time. Like you said, it's not my vibe either. I go with friends that have been doing it since they were kids that lived in the area. So it's one of those things where you go to, you walk around, you experience something that you don't really ever do throughout the year. It's something new, and it was fun. It was an opportunity to just get outside and a lot of walking around, great weather, get to drink a lot of beer. What you get to do is you get to invest in like a cup. You buy it for like $30, and then every year you get to bring it back and you get a couple of dollars off a regular beer. So it's like almost like a
$30
down
for a
payment.
cup?
Listen,
I forgot. You got money, bro. My bad.
even
You
no
got
what
money.
hold
My
on.
fault.
Each
My fault.
well, each beer is $10 to $11. If you buy this cup, you get a few dollars off every time you refill. You get to hold the cup. It keeps it cold, which is important
Okay.
during those times in South
Oh,
Florida. It does
100%.
keep it cold. Because if you get a
Yeah.
plastic cup with beer in South
No,
Florida, within
it's
30
melted.
minutes, that thing is
Ice
warm.
melted.
Yeah, it's not even a beer at that point. So I got a couple beers, don't like, and then but it was a good vibe. You have the mud show, you have everybody that's gone to a show or gone to a weekend. It's did you see what I posted? Good.
Shameless plug. Publix got these aluminum cans, these little aluminum cups. They're like $5, and it's a pack of 10. And that's what I bought while we were all walking downtown on Saturday, and it kept our drinks cool. Ice was good. Drinks stayed cold. So if you're ever going out or whatnot, invest in these aluminum cans because they are reusable.
All right. Shout out Publix.
Shout out Publix, man.
Shout out Publix. But just to wrap it up, it's an all-day drinking thing. So I last year I didn't pace myself, I will say. Last year I got the party started. I don't dress up. I didn't dress up last year for it. The girls dress up. And then this year the girls did dress up, wigs, makeup, all that. I just wore head to toe green, different hues of green just to be a little festive. I don't own a lot of green in my wardrobe at all. So
I don't own any green, dude. Like green is I have green and orange shoes, my Miami Hurricane Dunks. The only like green I have is green and orange. That's with the Hurricanes because Dolphins stuff is like teal, but that's about it.
Exactly. I had 3 options to wear a green shirt, and all 3 shirts I've gotten in the last 3 months. So it wasn't like other than that, I don't own green at all. And then green hats, I have a couple. So I rocked a Bass Pro Shops hat green, rocked a Tri-Fit, whatever. I rocked my Kyrie's, which I still need to clean because that probably wasn't the smartest choice to rock.
I was wearing a black shirt, my pants, and then I wore my Miami Hurricane Adidas, which were such a great move because I knew I was going to do a lot of walking, and they're fucking Ultra Boost. So
did you go out Saturday or did you go out Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday during the morning we went to. It was the parade Saturday during the morning because I had work at 4, so I wasn't even really drinking that much. I had maybe like 1 or 2 tequilas, 3 or 4 shots, and a beer. Nothing crazy.
Enough to get you okay, but got you.
Yeah, I was still very coherent.
Good. That's the last thing you need to go into one of your many jobs a little belligerent, and all of a sudden they start questioning.
I took the edge off though, so I was.
That's
sometimes, bro, when I'm at Publix, I gotta check myself because it's not like I'm at the gas station. And it's not like it's a sales job where I can kind of act a fool. I kind of have to be a little customer service, more friendly than not.
Gas station, you're more on your own, and then Publix, you got people watching and trying to snitch on you. So I get that
exactly,
100%.
Exactly.
So it was a good vibe. Like I said, last year I went all in because I didn't know what to expect. Got drunk very early. I think at one point I was watching a show and I passed out during it, sitting down on a bench, and then I was like, all right, this year I'm gonna ease into the day. I thought after the show we would go to Hard Rock and meet up with a bunch of people, but we wound up going back to Ben's house and watching hockey and watching UFC. So it was a little bit more right. And then yesterday we didn't do much. We stayed home. Everybody was out celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and I couldn't bring myself to drink a second day in a row like I did Saturday, and then also do this podcast and also take care of the adult things that I had going on in my life. So I took Saturday as a party time, St. Patrick's Day, Sunday, watch movies all day, watch shows. But that's basically it. Anything to lead off the podcast before we get into some stuff? Obviously, if you're tuning in on YouTube, subscribe. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about or any subjects that you want us to go into. But anything about the weekend?
I just realized I'm wearing the same shirt I wore last week.
I mean, you did wake up
Fuck it, bro.
16 minutes before we started, so
I watched it. I just clicked on it. I was like, let me see if I've worn this shirt in the pod lately. And
I do that, dude.
And I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last week. I'm like,
that's funny.
Fuck, well, whatever. It's too late now. I'm not taking it off. So, hey, look, if you got a clothing company, send your boy some shirts because I can use some shirts.
Broward Vintage, if you're listening. I'm not gonna lie, I do that sometimes. I like to wear, and I like to. One of the things I do on the pod is I like to wear. If you haven't paid attention, I like to wear things that are according to the theme. Right now, I'm rocking North Carolina for the March Madness. That's my men's basketball team. So I like to dress in themes. And there is some times where I'll look like, when's the last time I rocked either this shirt or something like that? Yeah,
It's
but
tough
lately I've been getting a
because
lot of Broward vintage stuff, so I got a
yeah,
whole
yeah,
closet full of new things I can rock. So it's not as much of a problem.
yeah. I want to start off with what I texted you. I didn't tell you
Good.
because I wanted to save it for the pod. I
Yes.
got I got a good scratch off story, man. This shit made my week, bro.
Yes.
Besides
Gas Station
me,
Chronicles. I love this.
yes, besides me being in a relationship now, which is gonna take me a while to get used to this, honestly.
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah,
Breaking news.
it's gonna this is gonna take me a while, man. But I'm very excited to see what the future holds. So we have dollar coins at the gas station, and I collect the dollar coins. I collect dollar coins and the half dollar coins. So there was like 10. There was 10 of them. I'm like, I don't want to break a 20. So I'm like, let me go check, see what I got. So I had $44. I took the $4. I got four of the $4 coins. And then I'm standing there. I'm like, damn, in this economy, what am I really gonna do with $40? Can't get that many groceries. I can get almost a full tank of gas, but I don't ever pay for full. I don't ever pay for full. I don't ever pay full price for gas anymore. And then I'm just like, it's Monday. I'm feeling great. I've been putting out great energy into the universe. And I've been hitting on the scratch offs lately. Here and there I won $50 off a $3 scratch off, and I won 50 off a $10 scratch off. So I'm like, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? I lose $40. I'm getting paid on Wednesday. Cool. So I get the $40. I buy two $10 scratch offs and then four $5 scratch offs. $40. And then my thing is, I don't ever scratch the whole thing off. I just scratch where the barcode is that they're supposed to scan on the machine because I don't really care. I just leave it to chance because that's at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. I'm not going to waste my time scratching off the whole thing. So I scratch all the tickets. I scan them. From 40, I went down to 27. I'm like, all right, well, now I'm down $13. Might as well keep playing because I'm not going to finish on the L. Bought another $10 ticket, and then I think I bought three $5 tickets. That's 25, and then I bought two $1 tickets. So from the $27, I go down to $6. And I'm like, shit, fuck it. Buy three $2 tickets. And I'm doing all this while I'm helping out customers and doing shit. So I fucking scratch off the three $2 tickets. Scan the first one, not a winner. Scan the second one, not a winner. I'm like, fuck. All right, well, this is my last one. Dog, I scanned that $2 ticket, and when I hit inquiry, that shit said $500. And I went like this. Because I'm not going to show no emotion. Like, I got a gas station full of customers. I got my coworkers and shit. So I just went like this. And I almost hit the instant cash. But we can't cash. We can, but the gas station doesn't like to cash anything out if it's more than $50. They'll give you $50 in cash, but they want you to use the rest in tickets. Because they're not trying to give cash away. They're not trying to give that shit to people. So I just fucking went back. And then I clicked the home button again on the machine. I scanned that bitch again just to double check, and it still said 500. And I'm like, bro, I got to get the fuck out of here. And this was almost when I had to leave. I was scheduled at the gas station 7-Eleven, and then I didn't have to go into Publix till 2. So I called my manager at Publix. I was like, hey, I know I'm scheduled at 2, but I'm here at the gas station till 11. Can I just go straight there once I'm off? And she's like, yep, come on in. I was like, perfect. So I cashed that bitch out at Publix, dog. $500 off a $2 ticket, dog. I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. Like, what a way to start my week, man. This is awesome. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I gave my coworker $20 because it's her birthday.
Oh,
Shout out Suzanne. Happy birthday.
My man immediately giving out vibes. I like that.
Yeah, of course. $20. And then one of my other coworkers from Parker's came in and she was buying a sub and some fruit. Gave her $20. I was like, this is for you. She's like, what's this for? I'm like, I won $500 on a scratch off. Let me do something nice for you. She got so happy. She gave me a high five. You know, she's like, thank you for my lunch and dinner. I was like, I got you. That ain't a thing. So,
Good for you, man.
dude, I was so hyped, bro. That's the most I've won. That's the most I've won on a scratch off. I was like, dog,
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
think
not
I've
real
ever
life
won
right now.
anything more than $5-10.
So that's a lesson for all you degenerate gamblers out there. There's two kind of gamblers. There's gamblers that just quit, and you're just so close. You're right
It's like
there.
that meme. Where
Yeah,
you're just
that
digging
meme when you're mining,
and the diamonds are right there.
Diamonds
Yeah.
right there. Buddy's turning around, and the other dude's still mining away right next to the diamonds. Yeah,
Addiction's
don't quit.
real, but in that game though.
Look, man, I got away. I got down bad when I was gambling on sports. I got down pretty bad, you know. But I'm a lot better with it now. And the scratch offs are fun, man. Like, dude, if I have like 13, 14, 15 bucks in reality, what am I gonna do with that kind of money? You know?
You also could read.
Have some fun with it.
I worked at a deli once. I worked with somebody that did the lotto like almost full time. And if she's at the lotto and she sees that people are buying the same one, not winning,
Yeah,
what we would do is either she would buy the ticket or we would go, all right, if it's a $10 ticket, you go 5, I go 5. We'll buy the next 2 or next whatever, just because the law of average. So it's actually you have the advantage, low key, of seeing 10 straight losers. It's like, all right, let me buy the next 1 or 2 tickets. You know, maybe something's gonna hit.
Yeah, last week I bought a $50 ticket and it didn't hit. And then I'm like, well, there's not that many in this pile. And like now I start looking at the number that the ticket's on. So it was on number 2. And I have certain numbers that I like every one of us males with sports and our numbers that we had in high school, or numbers of certain players that we like, or like my dad loves number 8 because of Cal Ripken Jr. So if the scratch off is on number 8, I'll cop that one. If it's on 23, I'll cop that one because LeBron, I had 23 in high school. 21 blackjack, can't go wrong. 3, Dwayne Wade. 7 is always a good one. 143, I love you type shit, you know. So,
oh shit, man. That's how you know you in love. You over here reading numbers.
Chill. I be looking at that now, man, and I was like, "Fuck, this is dope." You know, I probably won't buy another scratch off for like a week now because I got my fix in. You know, so
yeah, take a chill. That could be that addiction personality where it's like you win once, you get a taste, you want to keep going.
You want to keep going. Nah,
chill.
I'm gonna put the money to good use. I'm gonna put some of it towards my car note, save some for rent.
There you go.
You know, I gotta fix my windshield, so I might use that towards that. Blah blah blah. You know,
pay back your debts a little bit.
Yeah,
if you have any with some people.
Exactly. You know, I texted Berto. Berto was like, "Yo, you remember about that $450 you owe me?"
Yeah. I was just gonna say.
I was like, "Set your limitations, motherfucker. Leave me alone."
You gotta be careful who you tell about your winnings, because all of a sudden people coming out like, remember that $20 you owe me? Now you can Venmo me. Yeah. Exactly. That's true.
But that was my gas station chronicles for the week. Hell yeah, man! I'm hyped.
You, man.
But I can't show no emotion, bro. That's
like
what
especially when you work there. Like I said, you could get snitched on real quick about playing the odds. So you got to do a low key, keep it between.
That's what you were talking about. You were talking about last week when you were talking about when Ben was.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Getting through close. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and you had to stay calm, cool, and collected, so they don't see what you got going on. Yeah, exactly.
It's good for you, man. Playing the game.
Everyone's like, "How you doing, Daniel?" I was like, "I'm doing great. I'm sensational. I'm fantastic. I'm taking all the adjectives out the book, dog."
I'm rooting for you always. I'm always rooting for my friends, business wise, personal wise. So there's people out there. We all know that when they have a little good going on, a little success, they act like they're happy for you, but low key they're hating. They think that they work harder. They think that they deserve it more. So they'll say something to you, maybe to your face, but low key they're hating on you. I will never do that. I've won enough, or way more than I should have in my life so far, and mostly is deserved. But also, what's a life of having friends and family that aren't winning with you? So A lot of people be talking that stuff on Instagram, on Twitter about how happy they want or how much they want their friends to be winning with them. But a lot of it is just for the likes and for the pub and for the views and for the likes. But,
I got a question for you.
You know, it's fugazi. Go ahead.
So I did an application for a job this week, and you know how when you do those assessments and whatnot, you gotta select like strongly agree, disagree, whatever, or this one mostly relates with me, or this one doesn't relate with me at all. There's one that always sticks out, and it's like it goes, do you feel that success is earned, or do you feel that people just kind of like are given success, you know, kind of just like get lucky with it?
Okay.
You know, what do you feel about that? You feel that success is earned, like if you're working hard and you're doing what you're supposed to do, like success will eventually come your way, or do you feel that you can just get lucky with it?
Yeah, good question. I think right off the bat, I would say it could be earned. It could be both ways. I feel like short term, the latter of it could be given, and then it's up to that person, that individual, that what they do with that success. Right? You get an inheritance. They have a lot of money. Most people would interpret it as you're successful, but it's what you do with that. If you get an inheritance and you have, you know, if you're born in privilege, which, hey, I don't have any hate on that. It's what you do with it. A lot of people tend to be a little lazy, I'm going to milk it for what it's worth and don't do anything. And then all of a sudden that shit runs out real quick. Or the other side of that is you could take it and use it and you know, and use it for the better and use it as a down payment on your future success. Or nobody's self-made. I hate that term as I got older is self-made, because nobody's really self-made. You always have to deal with some person or some help in some sort of way. But I think the former is more important of what you said was, I think it's earned. I think it's a lot of hard work. I think it's a lot of showing up every single day. I think it's putting in work. And I mean, over the last year, 6 months, you're somebody that has been showing it. Not saying you're at your end goal, but all of a sudden you're putting yourself in a position where something didn't work out. I kind of know a little bit more personally than most people listening. And if people have listened to this podcast over the last few episodes, they kind of understand what you've gone through personally and business wise. But you put yourself in the position of things not working out in one job. You didn't complain. You didn't bitch. Things aren't working out personally, where you live and how you're going about it. So what do? You take on a job that's not the most prestigious job or something you want to brag about, but you have the humility to, all right, I'm going to work this job, then I'm going to get this job, and then I'm going to put it together, and then I'm going to figure it all out, and then eventually it'll all work out. So long answer short, yeah, it's always going to be the work you put in, and I'll always support that. I always tell people I did it in my 20s. So right now I have the privilege of working less harder than I did in my 20s, but I know that out of everybody I know, because I can only speak to that, I worked way harder in my 20s than anybody else I know. And that's what's given me the liberties of being able to work a lot less while earning the same amount of money, if not more money than I do now. So yeah, it's always the work you put in. And I love, not to whatever, but I love the fact that you're unafraid to do whatever it takes to work those jobs that are meaningless at the time just to earn, and then it'll lead you into better opportunities. Because I do know a few people right now that are looking for opportunities that are not able to put their pride to the side and work a job, work an opportunity that may not be what they want now because they're ashamed or whatever it is, or it'll be less money and they're just going to wait it out. And I'm like, that's not the opportunity in life. The opportunity is seize what you have in front of you and then work towards something later on.
Yeah,
I don't know if that answered your question, but like I'm trying to connect it to some conversations I had recently with some people.
Yeah, I've never really been that kind of person. Like whenever I go into a new job, I really rather start from the ground up, because when you do start from the ground up, one, you're gonna learn a lot more because you're fresh into it. If you have the right mindset, of course. If you don't, then you ain't gonna learn shit because you're going into it how you're not supposed to. So, you go into it with the right mindset, you figure things out, you learn. And also I feel that, I mean, with my resume, it's not the greatest, but I have a lot of management experience. I have a lot of leadership experience. So I don't have to
No,
apply
I wouldn't say it's not great. Based on how,
for,
since I've known you, I think your portfolio resume is very diverse and probably more diverse in showing that you've always kept the job, you've always kept whatever opportunity. Because what you have on paper is one thing, what you're able to explain on paper is another thing, right? Like when
right.
you do an interview, all right, this is you on paper, and then what you're able to talk about what's on paper is much more important. And I've interviewed people for like 3-4 years straight, and it wasn't
Yeah.
about what they put on paper. It was more about how can you talk to me about what I'm looking at on paper and about yourself. That is 90% of it.
Because that's funny you said that, because when I went into my interview at Publix and I did it, my manager was like taken back. She's like, I've never had anyone explain their resume and their experience to me how you just did it. And I was like, well, because I've been on your side of it. I know exactly what you're looking for me to say. I've interviewed hundreds of people before. I know exactly the keywords to say. I know how to say it, and I know what points to touch on. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like people also respect you, like your coworkers. I I'll say this from personal experience. I don't it's kind of shitty because I don't really, not that I won't respect them. I really have to get to know them a lot more and see what they're about when like a new manager comes in out of nowhere, unless they're just transferring in from somewhere else. But if it's like someone that just started somewhere and they're like a manager, it's going to take me a lot more time to respect and earn their respect and earn their trust than someone I've seen work their way up in the company or wherever. Like, okay, damn, this person like really grinded out. They started here and they slowly but surely worked their way up, and now they're at this point, versus someone that just comes in and starts telling you what to do or starts just trying to take advantage of their position and using some kind of power, you know? So in all the jobs that I do, that's how I like to go about it. That's just me. Everyone is different. But
Well, I think we could both agree that that's the best way to go about it. There's a lot of people coming from New York, New Jersey, seeing how people work, and then moving down here. I've seen a way different in aspect of entitlement, work ethic, attitude, which up north, the arrogance, for anybody that doesn't know, being born and raised in the northeast of United States, we tend to take pride in being a lot more sharp, hardworking, only because we have the elements of weather. Obviously, not every job is inside in a comfortable office. So that's one, because there's outdoor jobs and stuff, but also, which you have to deal with this with the heat and stuff. But I'm just talking about the hot and cold of it, but also just the sharpness, how much you got to be on point all the time, where it's work. And, New York City is, you don't come to relax. You don't come to enjoy all the things around you. You have to hustle. And down here, I've learned at an early age when I first moved here, which I moved down here when I was 25, 26, I seen immediately how people are entitled. People are more slower moving. People are expecting to get the most out of something with putting the least amount of work in it. And that's not how real life works. So I tend to see people do grow up a lot slower down here, male and female. And that is a negative about living down here. It's a vacation all the time, not only for people who are visiting, but people who live down here. They think that things are going to just work itself out, but you got to put in that work. So good point that you brought up. Good question, because a lot of people need to hear it. And I tend to try to be the friend that if you ask me for my opinion about your life and how you should go about it, I'm always going to say, do more action. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't rely on others. because me and my wife, we haven't relied on our family and friends to give us anything for the last since I've known her and me over the last 15 years. So I'm always going to be somebody that says, go after it yourself and keep it moving, keep it, keep busy physically and mentally, because
I'll be real with you.
nobody's going to give you shit.
I think that's one of the most things that I respect about you. You're not a yes man. And I'm not going to say I don't respect yes men, because you need yes men in your life to kind of like make you feel better about things or whatnot at some certain point. But I'm the kind of person that I need someone to tell me, hey, this is where you're falling short. This is what you need to work on. And this is how I could see you bettering yourself in those aspects. Like, I need that.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone needs that. And I take constructive criticism pretty well, because
you do take it very well, actually.
That's what I talked with one of my managers. I had talked to her about how I wanted to move up, and she came and spoke to me a few days later, and she's like, hey, I want to give you some feedback about the conversation we had, and this is what I think you could do better. And she told me some good points. I was like, hey, just be brutally honest with me. I'm not going to get offended at all. I'm not going to get mad. Like, I want to know what you see and how I can better myself, because you're in a position that I could see myself in a year and a half, 2 years. So give it to me honest. And she did. And she told me some good things. And I was like, okay, perfect. She was like, we have a very similar personality. And I see that when I work with you. And she was like, these are the things you can fix and tweak. And I think you're great at what you do. And everything, you're very reliable. You're dependable. You show up when we need you, and you do your job. But some things you could fix. And I was like, okay, perfect. I appreciate that. So I appreciate that from you so much. My brother's the same way. My brother tells me things like, yo, you're fucking up right here. Like, tighten up a little bit. And Mike is the same way too. Mike tells me that straight up. Mike's like, I love you like a brother. I'm not going to fucking bullshit with you. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
And it goes both ways, where it's like, just if I'm saying it, that means I'm accepting the responsibility for you to tell me likewise. I might not like it as much as you won't like it hearing it, but at least I got to hear it out. So there are people out there that do love to act like they're God's gift to the world and criticize and give it, everybody's got, especially with podcasts these days, which we never try to do. Like, you see clips of like people giving advice, but when you dig deeper into their own life, they're not living anything that they're preaching or talking about. So there is people that you need to make sure you take the right advice from the right person. And so, you got to be open to, if you're going to give advice, you have to be open to taking advice. And I'm not always okay with it, but I'll definitely remember the fact that somebody tried to say something that I could always fix, because I go through it every single fucking day, where I'm just constantly analyzing myself. And if anybody knows me, I'm always like, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm always analyzing my day and what I could do better. So I definitely am I'm not perfect when I'm giving the advice, but hopefully it's a two-way street. So it's a good way to lead off episode 117. I like this talk. Real talk.
Yeah.
Lab talk.
No, it is lab talk. Yeah, it is some real shit. But I kind of just had a few things that, I wanted to talk about and kind of get off my chest. And,
love it. There's a time to do it.
Yeah, been reflecting a lot, bro. Really trying to.
That'll happen when you start trying to be grown and start trying to get into situations where you're earning money and trying to, you're turning 2-3 jobs into one job. And then you're also in a relationship and trying to become more of a, as we could talk about, being more of a man and be more holding yourself accountable for the actions. And, hopefully find somebody out there, which, like I said, in the beginning stages, that somebody's patient with you and somebody that can understand you, for just because who you are right now isn't going to be what you're going to be in a week or a month or a year from now. Hopefully you get better from it, and you get better from it from being with that person. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, for sure.
But all right, so we're 40 minutes into this podcast, so appreciate everybody. We're getting a lot of people on Twitter tuning in. So obviously, if you're on Twitter, hit the like button just so other people that follow you could tune in. Maybe they'll vibe with us as well. Retweet the post if you're watching live on Twitter. That'll help us out. You don't have to do it. Whatever. It is what it is, but we appreciate you tuning in. Let's jump into some topics right now. Anything off the bat that you want to talk about? Because I got a couple things that I could bring up, but anything that right away that you want to jump right into.
I think the most prevalent thing throughout the week
Good. I'm listening.
has been NFL free agency. In my opinion, I think that's just really what I can think of. And the biggest thing for me for NFL free agency, I'm not even going to get into the Dolphins right away, but something that I wasn't expecting to happen was Aaron Donald retiring. I'm not going to say I know for a fact that dude had way more left in the tank. And 3-4 years, he's one of the most dominant players at his position, if not the most dominant at his position, pause, that we've seen, at least in my lifetime. But I didn't expect Aaron Donald retiring. I felt like he could have, if he didn't want to stay with the Rams, he could have gone somewhere else. Could he come out of retirement? Possibly. We've seen it happen. Jason Kelce retiring, we kind of all saw that right on the wall. But that was the biggest thing for me. Another big thing for me was.
Wait, let me touch on that real quick. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Aaron Donald retiring, obviously, when they won the Super Bowl in was that 2021, 22, whatever it was. I'm bad with years nowadays. He thought about retiring right after, and then he ran it back and had a little step back as a franchise as far as record, and then they made it to the playoffs. Him retiring is up there. I mean, it's not even an opinion. His retiring after 10 years in the league is right up there with Barry Sanders, Megatron, Calvin Johnson. It's up there in the greatest 10 full years. And, we talk about it where it's NFL careers last 2 to 3 years, if that. If you're lucky, you'll be in the league. We take for granted the greatest Pro Bowlers and all pros, but to walk into the league, be a defensive, and try to look that up real quick now that we're on the topic. Just pull up Aaron Donald on Twitter. It'll probably come up. Aaron Donald's awards, accolades. I just seen it the other day. Rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, Pro Bowl in every season, 10 straight seasons, Super Bowl champion, All Pro probably 6 or 7 times. Defensive player of the year, I think 2 or 3 times, definitely 2. Could have been 3 if not. And just being dominating from day one in his field. He's a beast. And I love that somebody like him is able to call it quits on his terms while he's healthy, while he has whereabouts, because there's times where he won the Super Bowl. He got what he wanted. He made his money. Now he's going to retire. I don't know what he's going to do because he hasn't been in media too much. So usually people like that, will go into media nowadays and have a job that will probably pay them $30 million a year, way more than they would have gotten if they were a player after the age of 30. So definitely shout out to him because you only appreciate athletes like that way after they're gone. Make that bigger.
Here.
Yeah, make that.
Pause.
Let me read this off. Aaron Donald career accolades: 10-time Pro Bowl. He only played 10 seasons, so 10 for 10. 8-time All Pro, 8 out of 10 seasons. 3-time Player of the Year. So, like I said, I thought it was 2. It's 3. 2014 Defensive Rookie of the Year. Super Bowl champion. 2010 All-Decade Team. First ballot Hall of Famer, easily. Started off with the St. Louis Rams. Retired as an LA Ram. And a player that could have played easily 5 or 6 more years. Who knows why he retired? That's not up to us to criticize or want him back. It's a beautiful thing when you, like I said, you retire on your own what is it, reconnaissance, as they say.
Mhm.
Yeah, like awesome for him. He dominated the game, and he wasn't a top 3 pick, top 5, top 10. I think he went in. What do you go in late first round, maybe mid first round? I could look that up real quick while we're talking about it. But man, awesome for him to retire when he wanted. I'm looking it up right now. He's
selected
32 years
13th.
old. 13th.
13th.
So
Yeah.
not somebody that's, from day one was going to be,
You ready?
when we
You ready
talk
for this? You
God,
ready for this? Right after the New York Giants selected
yeah.
Odell Beckham with the 12th pick.
Yeah. And that's not a bad
But
pick.
I mean, no, it's not at
that's
all.
not
You
a bad
can't.
pick. You take
can't-
Odell Beckham, number 12, and he
Right.
literally set every single record in Giants history, which is a long history. So I
Right.
don't regret that pick. You can't
No,
regret
you can't.
that one.
No.
So shout out Aaron Donald. Hopefully we continue to see him, whether it's media wise, analyzing the game, or he has a future in, improving the game, being a coach, stuff like that. I don't think you retire at the age of 32 and you don't have a plan for your future. So hopefully it's to improve the game. But what else did you have?
Yeah. So the second one of the other like big moves that I didn't see coming. I saw these players definitely moving on because we knew it was rumors here and there after the season ended. Russell Wilson traded to the Steelers. It's pretty big. I mean, the Steelers kind of needed a quarterback to get over the hump. They got rid of Pickett. He went over to Philly. They were making a bunch of jokes saying since he's got small hands, he's going to have to hold a cheesesteak with 2 hands. I thought that was fucking hilarious. And then not only did they get Russell Wilson, but then they doubled up and got Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is a fucking great athlete. Quarterback position, I don't know. We can't really tell because he's had so many different coordinators and head coaches, and he was with the Bears, who aren't the greatest of a team. But I think now he goes to the Steelers, which have a great head coach, and you're playing behind. He's not going to start. He's going to sit back and watch Russell Wilson, who had, his tenure with the Broncos wasn't the greatest, but same situation. It wasn't a fit for him. He had Sean Payton, who wasn't trying to set him up for success. Now you get to sit behind one of, you can say, all-time greats. He's got a Super Bowl, and they kind of play similar. They have a similar playing style. They do. He can sit back and mature and learn from there. And I think Wilson signed a 1-year deal, so now you got Justin Fields for a year to sit back, and you can kind of mold him to what you want. And you got Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you have a franchise in the Steelers that are there's a few franchises that are willing to sit back. It used to be the Giants. They used to do this. Now over the last 10 years since Eli, we have not been able to, but so I'll include them kind of, but Green Bay, now Kansas City, Chicago, just the old school teams that usually they have the patience through ownership, and ownership has changed. Management has changed in those franchises over the last 10, 20 years. So it's kind of different, but there's only a few franchises that can afford to take a quarterback and just wait and just chill and just try to understand what's going on. Pat McAfee brought up a good point was, if you name the top 3 GOATs of all time, well, not all time, the modern era, Tom Brady sat, Patrick Mahomes sat, Aaron Rodgers sat.
Mm-hmm.
I just named 3 of 3 quarterbacks in the last 20 years who have sat for either a season or 2. And somebody brought up like Peyton Manning, where I think he was 3-11, 3-12, or whatever it was. Had the most interceptions as a rookie, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. We're such in a social media and such a win now mentality where it's like, yeah, these guys are getting a lot more money, a lot of money to win day one, but the patience have gone thin. And we have to understand as fans, but also organizations, is the ones that are patient, the one that are like, hey, we get it. We drafted. Give this time. Give it not even more than a year. Give it time. Give this guy enough to develop. We're so short-sighted. We think that everybody's a Joe Burrow, everybody's a Lamar Jackson, and those are one of ones, one of threes. You look at quarterbacks, how many top 5 quarterbacks are drafted every single year? There's 3 quarterbacks drafted every single year in the top 5. Most of those in the last 10 years are now either out of the league, either number 2s or number 3s now. So we just got to make sense of it. And I think that's what we have to realize as a not a society, but as fanatics of the game on our part, but also organizations where things aren't going to work out right away. And Daniel Jones was somebody that sat, but that was a tough situation with Eli retiring, and we needed somebody to replace him right away. I thought we could have been a lot more patient with that. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh no, I mean, there's a lot of players going to division rivals this year. I don't know why that was the case or whatnot. I mean, Patrick Queen went from the Ravens to the Steelers. Like I said, Aaron Jones got released by the Packers. He signs with the Vikings. I think it's just because these teams know these players pretty well, and they're like, all right, well, come on, we'll give you a shot. I don't know. I was just kind of shocked that 2 running backs got let go, and a running back has the shortest career in the sport. But Aaron Jones getting released, and then Joe Mixon getting released. It was like,
But they both got in good situations where they're going to get their money, and then they got paid a little bit too. Yeah. So it's not a negative. If you have talent below the age of 30, you got already paid, so that's not going away. But you also got paid on the. Looking at Justin Fields, he's 25 years old. He's going to go to
for like a 6th-round
5th round,
and it can move a
5th round,
move to a 4th.
Yeah, a 5th round pick that could move to the 4th. I think that's a no-brainer. I'm almost jealous that the Giants didn't take a stab at that. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but he's 25 years old. He's going to watch Russell Wilson, learn good, bad, and ugly, and then similar styles, like you said, and then be able to, if Russell Wilson doesn't work out, you have a number 1 pick that was only selected 3 years ago. So it's like, imagine that. And I saw a graphic on ESPN where they compared Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields' numbers in their first, I think, 20 games, 25 games. They were very similar. Like, obviously, Lamar's numbers were a little bit better, but it wasn't like A to B comparison where A was an elite player and B was completely down in the dumps. So, obviously, Baltimore over the last 10 years has been a way better franchise than the Bears as far as organization and personnel. And now you're going to it. So Pittsburgh getting Russell Wilson for $1 million or $2 million. If it doesn't work out, great. You have Justin Fields. That could be your starting quarterback next year, the season after, at 26 years old. And who knows? Like, in 1999, what was it? 1999, 2000, the Giants got beat by a great Ravens defense that had Trent Dilfer as a quarterback. Trent Dilfer at the time was like 35 years old, 30-something years old. So you don't know. So that mentality of I need to draft a quarterback and he needs immediately to win Rookie of the Year. He immediately needs to get us to the playoffs. I think we got to step back from that and not believe in that, because that's not real. That's not a realistic thing.
Yeah, no, it's really not. But like you said, social media age and just everyone's patient wearing thin is kind of hurts athletes, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Any other trades? The Giants did good on their trade, their signings. I think we got a little bit, obviously, Brian Burns, and they're going to have a great front. I think they have the best front in the NFL as far as 3. That edge rushers in the middle with Dexter Lawrence and Thibodeau and Brian Burns. Oh my God. I love watching defense. All the teams that I loved when they won the Super Bowl were all defensive teams, not offensive teams. So I'm very excited to watch the Giants this year defensively. Offensively, we'll figure it out. Daniel Jones, we pay him a lot. We pay him $40 million a year, but guess what? It could end after this year. We're going to figure out if they trade up. So there's a lot of, this year's NFL draft, the first 6 picks are going to be very interesting. You got a lot of talent, a lot of good quarterbacks that are going to, you don't know, and nothing set in stone. So I'm excited. Obviously, Miami, you guys have, it was disappointing in the beginning of who you let go, but I think you guys made up for it in the last couple days.
Yeah, no, we definitely did. Chris Jones got the bag with the Chiefs. He got over 100 mil. So, I mean, he deserves it.
And then they signed Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, they did.
That's what they needed, bro. That's great. To a 1-year deal. So he's gonna try to ball out too. But know it's a win-win for the Chiefs where they're trying to go for a 3-peat. Brown's gonna try to get the bag after because he's young enough where
rich get richer.
He's gonna try to ball out. So
everybody
had to. It's like NFL's like NBA, dude. I'm telling you, it's like it's a lot different as far as contracts and the players moving from team to team. But you could sign some players for a year or two, and your team could automatically just be better and make a playoff push. I'm excited about this football season probably more than ever coming up.
Yeah, 100%. The Dolphins, like you said, it was kind of lukewarm at first. We lost Christian Wilkins. That, I felt like they should have re-signed because he was such a staple to the franchise since he got drafted.
Yeah.
And, everything that he did for the team and outside, in the community was awesome. But I mean, he needed to get his bag, and we couldn't give it to him. So no ill will towards him. I hope he goes out and balls with Vegas, and he does his thing and just has a great career. Keeps going. He didn't go to a division rival. I'm not upset about it. But I think the Dolphins 100%. Have done pretty well. They beefed up what they needed. I mean, they signed 2 tight ends. They got Jonnu Smith, who's great after the catch. I think they're just going to focus a lot more on the run. We re-signed Robert Jones, re-signed Isaiah Wynn. We got a lineman from offensive lineman from the Eagles earlier. We got Shaq Barrett, so we're beefing up that edge, that front line again. Shaq Barrett's no joke. We got Anthony Walker from the Seahawks. The biggest signing for me as far was Kendall Fuller. We needed a corner after Xavier Howard got let go. Kendall Fuller kind of had a down year, but his stats were good. Everyone always on Instagram and social media and Twitter is always going to talk about your negatives. Everyone's like, oh, he let up 9 touchdowns. Well, Washington's front line was not great, and their secondary wasn't great. Obviously, if your front line isn't getting pressure towards the quarterback's going to have some time to make throws, and players are going to get open. But I think Kendall Fuller is a stud. We got him for mad cheap, 2 years, $16 million, playing next to Jalen Ramsey, and we signed Jordan Poyer, who he's kind of injury prone, but I feel like he could get his career a little bit better. And we've been signing captains,
bro.
Jordan
I'm telling
Poyer's
you,
captain. Fuller was captain, so we've got
shout out Rachel Bush.
Better, all natural,
all
baby.
All natural, baby.
we got some good.
Everybody out there, players. When you're done with this podcast, Google Rachel Bush. According to her, she's all natural.
Yeah, and then just let us know.
Vito will have a little bit different to say. She called him a crackhead, which is not true. But also, he was accurate, and he's not. She's not all that natural. But what I was gonna say to relate it to the NBA, and we'll end on this, is I'm looking at the NBA in the Eastern Division. You got Boston on top, Milwaukee, Cleveland, right? And then in the play-in, 7 through 10, you got Miami. Philly is going to get Embiid back. Then after that, it falls off. Chicago, Atlanta, and then the Nets aren't going to make the playoffs, so that's it. But then in the play-in, dude, I'm telling you, in the playoffs for the Western Conference, this is what's brilliant, and I think that's what the NFL and the NBA are doing now, and I don't know how they figured it out, but I don't know if it's worked out this way or it's thought out where with the salary cap and how players are moving. But right now you have OKC who have so many first round and second round picks over the next 8 years. They've taken advantage and they've hit on almost every pick. They're number 1 in the West. Number 2 in the West are the defending champions. Number 3 is the Minnesota Timberwolves, they lost Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, that takes a hit. But Anthony Edwards is a beast. I think he's personally my MVP of the league for what he's done, the leap he's taken. And then in the play-in,
Fucking hot
and
take.
we could debate that. And then in the play-in, 7 through 10. Let me name the teams that are in 7 through 10 in the West. Dallas, number 7. Oh my, electric, right? Kyrie, Luka.
Yeah.
Number 8, Phoenix, KD, Booker, Beal. Number 9, Golden State Warriors. Don't have to name those people.
Jesus.
You already know. Number 10, LA Lakers, LeBron,
Right.
AD. Like, that's your play-in.
Austin Reeves.
Like, 7's going to play. I don't know if it is 7 plays 10, 8 plays 9, whatever it is. I don't care what matchups it is. You're getting, as a fan, that play-in tournament, winner goes on, loser plays another game. That is amazing.
Right.
And that's exactly what the NBA foreseen a few years ago when they made this. Is like, whenever a league makes a decision to be like, hey, we're doing a new play-in wild card, so, like, oh, well, we're letting a lot of teams in. Imagine right now, if we ended the season now, and I hate that scenario, but if we ended the season in 2 weeks, the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers would not make the playoffs. The fact that we have them in there and they could go on a run, thank God the league made that rule or these new rules, because now we're having arguably four of the best teams or 4 of the top 12 teams battle it out in a play-in tournament. And that's exactly, as a fan, that you want to see. And those ratings for the play-in on the Western Conference are going to be at an all-time high. So
off the charts.
Same thing with the NFL, where we're seeing so much parity, where quarterbacks are moving on different teams. We have Cousins going to Atlanta. We have a lot of movement with teams where, especially in the NFL, any team can win it. I've seen it twice with the Giants. We didn't deserve to win those 2 titles, but we earned the right to win those. Man, NBA and NFL, I don't get as much hype during the regular season, but man, when it's playoff time, any team could win, brother. And I told you, the Dolphins have to continue to make moves because it's a small window. All of a sudden, you have these great players on the same team, and you have to take advantage, because if you don't win, you don't go to the conference championship or the Super Bowl, you have a very small window because you got to pay these players. So your Miami Dolphins had to move on from a few players, but you guys are in a lot better situation than you used to be, because at least you have a quarterback, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I still see people all the time still talking shit like, oh, why didn't the Dolphins take a move on Justin Fields? Like, we definitely could have traded a 5th round.
I mean, everybody could have.
Right.
Everybody could have.
Doesn't fit the scheme. It's not what you're looking for. Like,
yeah.
You could find players in that area, but I'm not mad at it. I'm happy with what we've done. We saved some money. I think we got like 3 or 4. What do they call them? Comp draft picks or some shit like that from those players leaving. So I think we're pretty well. I think we're well off.
Okay.
I don't think anyone in the division got that much better than we did. So, but at the end of the day, it's still the Miami Dolphins. So.
All right. Now we're in the latter stages of episode.
Dude, this hour has gone by so fast.
I know. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
This is the fastest episode
we have a lot of people viewing on
opinion.
Twitter and YouTube.
Understand.
We appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Obviously, hit the subscribe button. Go to the link, please. Just helps us out. Make sure we love to do it. If 0, and we've been in a position, me and Fort, you know this, where we've done episodes where 0 people view it. We've been there many times in the last 117 episodes where 0 people are watching us. We still put out the same content, still love what we do. So it doesn't matter about that, but you liking the video, you sharing it with friends, you subscribing only makes us want to do it even more. So now we're going into
game, baby.
Yeah, let's go into some fun stuff. Latter stages of this episode. Pull up the There was a jersey swap.
Dude, this shit.
That's all I'm gonna say. There was a jersey swap
up, bro, and they knew
blew up.
exactly what they were doing.
I mean, the players did it themselves, so how could you avoid it? The players knew what they were doing. Pull up a video or a photo. For those that don't know, there was a jersey swap versus Orlando Magic versus the Toronto Raptors.
And it's not
like this video.
It's not from an official site, so it shouldn't get taken.
All right, perfect. Yeah.
Now, when you hold a team under 100 points,
we don't have to say the two names. You already know.
50% as well.
The player on the right in blue.
Number to keep an eye on.
Last name
22
Black.
and 1.
The player in the white.
The Magic when shooting 50% or better.
When you play the kind of defense the Magic do, if you're making shots,
He's laughing the whole way through.
combination.
They knew what they were doing, and I love that they did this.
It's like, yo, you got to stand here.
And he perfect. Yeah, I didn't see that part.
He
Purposely went on the other side. That's amazing.
Exchanging jerseys.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And
Hell
Dante
yeah.
Marcatelli standing by
Now, when you hold a team under,
No, we don't have to say the
100
two names that
points.
were on the back of the jersey. You're right. If you are watching on YouTube, you already know. But it's something that it caught Twitter by storm, and also I think it was taken down from official NBA websites. But it's like, hey, dude, just have fun with it. I get it why they would for PR wise, but it's a fun moment. The players are young. Both it'll play. The player for the Raptors are drafted number first in the first round. Black was selected, I think, in that first round, if not the year before. So it's all for fun. What are you saying? What are you looking at?
It says jersey swaps I need from Grady Dick. We got Anthony Black already. Then there's James Harden.
Dick Harden, Dick Smart, Dick Suggs,
Suggs Dick,
Dick Moore,
Suggs Dick,
Young Dick,
More Dick,
Giddy Dick,
Josh Giddey,
Lively Dick, Wood Dick, Dick Wood,
Dick Wood,
Little Dick.
Little Dick.
Yeah, we need those. I like
Yo,
that.
the
It's
Josh,
all for fun.
The Josh Primo shit is fucking hilarious.
Hey,
Dog, no, they had
I
a
get
field
why
day
you
with
would
this
take
shit
it down
yesterday.
at the NBA because you don't want people complaining like,
Dude.
oh my God, my kid, whatever. But as an adult watching on social media, I'm so glad those NBA players are like, you know what? Let's have fun with it. That's first of all, it's our names, right?
Yeah,
so it's not like we're not
change
doing
anything
something.
up.
We're not manipulating
name.
anything. We're just having fun with what our names is. But also, yeah, I love that because
And when I saw that video, the first thing I
bro,
thought
imagine
of
going
was
around your whole life. Your name is Dick.
you
like,
probably get
your whole
roasted
life.
all day in school.
And you're a successful basketball player. Now you could just have
And you're
fun with
white.
it in a bro. I love that. I love it. Like there's no problem on my end with it. I hope he does more jersey swaps. I'm sure the organization talked to him. The NBA probably sent out a memo. It was like, hey, chill. Just because, all right, we know what we're doing. But at least we got that one opportunity.
That one. That's it.
You need to do a one. And that was the best one they could have done. So shout out Anthony Black. Shout out Grady Dick.
The first thing I thought of was when we were doing the pod after the NBA draft and Fat Joe going, I like Dick from Kansas.
Hey, he earned the right to do it. He's been teased his whole life. You know, my significant other is last name Cox. You don't think she got COX? You don't think she got a lot of grief in high school? If she had an opportunity to have fun with it for one time where you have control and you have confidence, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I've been teased my whole life. So I love that mentality.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
hell
shit
yeah.
had me dying
I support
laughing, bro. Yeah, 100%.
It's a way to turn the turntables, as they say. LeBron James and JJ Redick is starting a pod strictly on basketball 101. It's not about clout. It's not about viral. I read into it, like you said. It is dope because it's all about basketball. It's all about hoops. It's all about, between the lines. It's not about the drama. I love that. Maybe I'll tune in a couple times, but LeBron James, as long as he's not corny and try to be about himself and promote. If it's really all about hoops,
basketball.
Yeah, if
he
it's
just
really
spits
all
the
about
basketball.
hoops, I'm all in for sure.
Because dude, when I saw that, I'm like, we're gonna get LeBron James. To me, obviously, I haven't seen the other greats of eras, but to me, LeBron James is not only the most athletic player I've seen, but the smartest player on the court ever. Just how he sees shit on the court, how he does shit, like passes that no one else does. Obviously, he's physically gifted and can do those, but he just knows the game. And there's been instances where you've seen where he knows what the other team's gonna do. He fucking pulled Buddy out, I forget who it was, from going on the bench because they could have got hit with a tech. He literally like sunned him. He's like, "Come over here, bro." Like, that type of shit. And JJ Redick, man, JJ Redick's been around the game so long, and he's played with under great coaches when he was at Duke, and then Doc Rivers and you can name it. And when he goes and does the analysis of the game, he said it himself. He's like, dude, I would think that hoops fans would want what I'm saying because it's actual NBA content, it's actual NBA in between the lines, like you said. In his videos that he's actually doing that are getting less views than when he's just talking about bullshit. So now you
love that. Yeah, I do.
JJ Redick and Bron, and JJ Redick has played with fucking great players too in his lifetime.
Yeah.
So he knows the game. He's a fucking smart ass dude. So you put those two together in the same room with a mic, and if they strictly
they're drinking wine. I think
basketball,
the preview we've seen of it, they're having some wine, which always loosens it up a little bit. Gets people talking. Like I do. Anytime I do a podcast, there is times on this podcast where I gotten probably a little bit more drunk than I would like to, but I think I figured out a medium where it just, sometimes it's a little liquid lubricant, conversation lubricant where you're just talking one-on-one. It just excites people. So they're sipping wine, they're talking hoops, and there's definitely an avenue for that, especially when you got LeBron, where he's a current player, and then you got JJ, who knows a lot about the game, playing 4 years at Duke, and then having a great NBA career. I'll definitely lock into that. The other side of that, Lamar Odom.
Dude, it's funny because when I seen that tweet about Bron and JJ starting a podcast, and then I went straight to the notes and I was gonna write it, and I saw you had already wrote it, and then I went back on Twitter, and the next tweet I saw was what you're about to bring up right now.
Lamar Odom and Caitlyn Jenner starting a podcast. We will not spend too much on this because there will probably be only clips that I view of this, but
dude,
it'll be very, very, what are they going to talk about? There's probably nothing they won't talk about. They're probably going to talk about it all. Lamar Odom, shout out
Christ. Who was on crack?
Shout out Christ the King. He played in Queens. And also Sue Bird. I was a young lad back in my day playing for an all-white Catholic high school in Staten Island, New York.
You were the darkest one on the team.
We had to travel up to Christ the King to play them. And let's say the game was over in the layup line. When you show up to Christ the King in Queens, they have Lamar Odom Shrine. They have Sue Bird Shrine. And probably since then they have a couple others. I think Carmelo Anthony's son played or plays for Christ the King now, or did. It's over. So we lost in the layup line. The game. The game's lost when I'm checking into the game in high school. I'll just be honest. I have no shame in that.
Who, me?
Me, bro. There's a lot of times, bro, where I'm sitting on the bench. I'm warm, but it's like you call my number. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And guess what I'm doing in that game? I'm shooting, bro. Every time I get the ball,
fly.
Give myself 5 inches in front of a defender. Pause. I'm letting that thing go. So I think I scored a couple points in that game, actually, now that I think back on it. But the game was probably over. So we'll stay tuned into that. Maybe we'll have a couple fun clips.
Dude, that's going to give us so much content, bro.
Yeah, let's
Lamar Odom and Caitlyn Jenner, dog. Are you kidding me?
I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Yo, special guest Scott Disick off rip.
A lot of problems in that family,
me, bro.
Like last week, we did talk about.
They're gonna
Jake
have OJ
Paul.
on, and I'm gonna be screaming.
We did talk about last episode, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fighting on Netflix. That's coming up. They're
Man.
doing a lot of promotions with that. You see Mike Tyson in the lab. Off that promotion, you got Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal 2, June 1st I think it's a boxing match, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boxing.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. There's another fight that Dre told me about that's on June 1st. I didn't write it down. Maybe I'll say it as it gets closer, but obviously this is another money grab that we're all going to watch. We're all going to consume. And Jorge Masvidal, there's oftentimes I think I'm in Fort Lauderdale driving on my golf cart with the hair flowing and curls are going. And I think I get mistakenly for him. You know what? Sometimes I get a vibe where I'm like, I'm looking and they're looking at me and I'm like, I think they think I'm that person.
I mean,
a lot.
shit,
I'm telling you. When my hair's down and I'm vibing with certain outfits, I understand.
You were here in Savannah.
Yeah,
Dude comes up to us and he comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, I thought you was about to get knocked out. Like, I thought you were arguing with Jorge Masvidal. I was gonna tell you chill out."
It's not me trying to look a certain way. It's just my vibe right now. So the fact that Jorge Masvidal is fighting again, we're gonna have some funny content with that. But what do you think about that fight? It's something that has to go down. Obviously, Nate Diaz is more on the ladder of his retirement. Jorge Masvidal started his own fight company, Bare Knuckle.
He's got his own
and then
promotion,
they're trying to promote it. So they're trying to start a fight. But that'll be fun. That'll be interesting to watch. Hopefully they don't get gassed after round one. Yeah.
I think their fight in the UFC ended on a doctor stoppage. I might be wrong. I can't remember, but I think that's what happened. So, yeah, there's some unfinished business between them two. Those two dudes have been in the sport of mixed martial arts and combat for a long time. And I don't know if they have actual beef, but they make it seem like they do. Fucking Masvidal,
well, they're similar people. They're similar characters as far as like
they got similar personality.
One's from South Florida, Miami. One's from Sacramento, Cali. So they got their own different American, Mexican, American, Cuban. So it's basically me and you if we were in a fight. Like not ethnicity wise, but like it's like kind of similar where like your personality, you're like if you were in a ring, we would almost match up like a Diaz Masvidal fight. Like seriously, if you had a build our like doppelganger, no, of course not. You'll win, of course. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a lover, but I'll figure it out.
Dog,
I'm not a fighter, nor am I a lover, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun fight. So we got some good fights coming up. Canelo's fighting again in the summer.
Is he? Nice.
UFC 300's popping off next month. You got WrestleMania for me and my fans and people that I talk to that we're gonna do the next couple of months of combat sports. And you're seeing, dude. So we were watching UFC the last couple of times. The cross promotion we're starting to see it now that it became official. UFC and WWE, I mean, I know you don't watch any WWE, but you're starting to see a lot of promotions and marketing that UFC has become great at in WWE, and you're starting to see a lot of things that WWE has become great at because they're like number one at marketing and promotions. Like that's their whole gig. You're starting to see that now in UFC, meaning I watched the other night. I don't know if you watched the fight night on Saturday a little bit, but after they're doing full promos in the ring about fighting the next opponent. That literally derives right from WWE, like set your next fight up. And obviously that's always happened in UFC, but now they're purposefully interviewing guys to make sure that the promotion lives on. And that's what it is. And I love the fact that under TKO, for those that don't know, TKO is now owned by UFC and WWE. And the fact that these two promotions could come together, it's a win-win. If you're only a fan of one or the other, or a fan of both like I am, it's a brilliant combination. And I think it's going to take combat sports to the next level.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. You can't go wrong. I mean, you're gonna have people that like one more than another or just don't watch, but I mean, lately I've been seeing a lot more WWE content on my feed than I normally see, and that's gotta be because I watch a lot of UFC stuff. So obviously UFC is gonna try and promote and try and put the WWE into my feed and vice versa. If you're more of a WWE fan, I'm sure you're going to start seeing a lot of UFC stuff because they're in business together. They're not going to lose out on which one you watch more.
Why not cross promote?
Both,
and you're going to start seeing UFC guys like, don't be surprised in the next.
I mean, just like a few weeks ago, Michael Chandler was on there. You were talking about it. He was screaming his ass off.
You're going to see some UFC fighters go over. You think McGregor's just going to, if he fights his next fight and loses or whatever, and he's done at 36, 37, 38 years old, you don't think he's going to go to WWE and get a bag real quick?
Everyone will watch that. Of
course that's going to happen. That's what I mean. Everybody like watch that. It's entertainment.
WWE, he's already acting. He's already doing his acting career.
If
so you put him
they already probably have a plan in line where that's going to happen, and I'm going to love it because he doesn't have to fight the best fights, or actually he's proven that he could do both UFC and boxing already, and then also he has the gift of gab where he could talk that talk. That's literally all you need. Now all you have to do is train. Dude, Bad Bunny. If Bad Bunny, no offense to him, but because he put his work in, if Bad Bunny's able to train for 3 to 6 months and do the moves and do in the ring that I seen him do a couple times, shout out Bad Bunny, I know that McGregor could do something similar. And it's just going to bring stock prices up, profit up, revenue. And that's what it is. Like I said, we all win. We all win from entertainment. So I accept all of it as long as it's done well. And I know that if those two companies link up, Dana White, Triple H, when they talk and they figure it out, you're going to see a lot of good entertainment over the next 5 years, especially when they move to Netflix and stuff like that. So I'm all for it, brother. I love it. I love that both of our lives, because you're more UFC, I'm more WWE. It's fun to see the both worlds collide. And it's going to be fun either way. Like, that's what we watch. That's what we want to look for is the entertainment value of it. So as long as the product doesn't go down, which UFC's taking off so high, WWE's taking off so high, these are two companies that they don't lose. They don't lose. They're great at what they do. So let's see. With that, only other news stories that I have is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. elected last week when we logged off. Aaron Judge, or not elected, he's on a list of potential vice presidents. Obviously,
Aaron Judge or
Aaron Rodgers.
You got the wrong. Yeah. I was about to say.
Did I say Aaron Judge?
Aaron. You did.
I did. My bad. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I guess I got Aaron Judge on my mind right now because he's not healthy right now. So obviously he has him on his short list of vice presidents, but I think the media took it by storm because people love to have Aaron Rodgers in the media, Spotlight. Which it's just a list. They're friends. They get it. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to run or even entertain it. It was just all for fun. No. It's all for media. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, that's something I had to mention right off the bat, but also we talked a lot last episode, which people liked. I heard some good feedback. We had a couple, we had one person deceased, one person in a coma, which we still haven't got an update from that entertainer and actress.
Word.
So still actress. Prayers, T's and P's to that person.
Where's that?
Pornhub is pulling out of Texas, and they put out a real news source in Texas, word for word. I'm going to say it. You don't have to pull it up. The exact words were, Pornhub is pulling out of Texas. Pause. Awesome.
Did
The
it say
popular
pause?
porn, it said in parentheses pause. A legit. And it's funny because when I seen the tweet, I was like, let me look at if this is like a reliable source. And they had like 700,000 followers. So it's like a legit Texas
It's got to be,
news source.
yeah.
Pornhub is pulling out of Texas. Pause. The popular site is in a legal battle. The state over who's responsible for making sure minors don't see explicit content online. This has been a talk. I thought Texas was kind of like Florida, where it's like do what you want, but Texas is a little bit more conservative, more than Florida, I think, and they have their values. So
what does that mean?
Pornhub's
if you're in Texas, you can't go on Pornhub.com.
What I've heard is that, and this isn't Bible, this isn't anything
Bible,
that
this isn't church.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I've heard that when you log into Pornhub in that state or in those circumstances, you might have to put your like driver's license or like, like usually you log onto a website, legal or illegal.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
use these. You sometimes you got to be like, oh, what state? I mean, what month, what date, what year you were born. You can put in anything as long as it's legal. They're trying to take it to another point where you have to like upload your personal information.
Nah, that's too much, bro. That's too much.
Way too much, right?
Yeah, because by that time, I'm probably not even going to be hard or horny anymore.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm going to go on to other sites.
XNXX, X videos, whatever.
Yeah, don't give them all away. Don't give them all away. We don't want to get them shut down.
No,
yeah,
but
we got a few, but
that I've heard, I don't go on those sites. But to answer your question, I was saying who's responsible for who watches explicit stuff. I mean, I don't think anyone's responsible for it. I think when you're growing up and my brother's a nut. Crazy point to open up the stream, to be honest. Motherfucker comes in the stream an hour and a half late. What the fuck's wrong with you, bro? But I don't know, bro. I don't know who's responsible for it, because I think obviously when you're growing up as a kid, I guess you're taught that porn is bad and you shouldn't watch porn and whatever. But school, or at least when I went to school, they teach you that kind of stuff. They teach you about, reproductive organs and anatomy and that kind of shit. So obviously as a kid, you have a vivid imagination. You have what's the word I'm looking for? When you're told something's bad and when you're told not to do something, it only makes you want to do it more.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
good luck trying that route.
Yeah, you're not gonna get rid of porn, man. Porn's been around for so long, and it's so easy. It's so easily accessible. Yeah. There's no.
I get it. Texas is trying to do something different. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, the porn industry has taken over with cell phones and the easy access to it, where I don't even know how they make money anymore, because I could
ads.
I could ads, right? But I'm just saying, I could genuinely say I've, over the last at least 8 years, 10 years, that I've had a phone that I could access this. I've never paid for anything at all. But there are people out there that
you don't support amateur people trying to make a living.
No, I definitely
you don't support sex workers.
I definitely do support it, just not monetarily.
Misogynist.
100%.
So insane.
I support it, just not monetarily. Just like I don't support some of these pay-per-views and things that cost $80 to watch a fight.
So just know, if you're in Texas and you're trying to go on Pornhub, make sure you got a VPN.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, keep it moving. Yeah, find another way. Quick news. I do some quick news. Garrett Cole for the New York Yankees out 2 months. That sucks. Baseball season's among us. I do need 2 people to log to be a part of my fantasy baseball league, which if you're interested in being in a high quality league that's
Very
run
high
for the
quality.
last
I've never
8
joined it myself, but
You
you're a great
should.
commissioner.
Can I could count you in. I'm going to count you in as a wild card for now, and we'll talk off record, but you only have to put it's 150 in the league. You only have to put 50 down. But what I do is as a league manager, there's 21 weeks in the season. Every week out of 12 teams, you have an opportunity to win $25. So it's like FanDuel. So if you're the number 1 team in points in that week, you win $25. So let's say 21 weeks, you're the number 1 team in half of those weeks. Your team's dominating. You could win an easy 250, right off the bat. That doesn't include the championship because we have number 1 seed and then we have the number 2. We don't give money in my league to the number 3 because number 3, that's crazy. You're the second loser. Why are we giving you money? So my league is 150 for 12 teams. You only have to give 50 up front, but you also have the opportunity to win $25 every week for the next 21 weeks. And then you have the opportunity to win first and second prize. So if you guys are interested, let me know. Maybe next week I'll lead it off even more if you need teams. I'm going to count you in as I'll front the money for you. That'll be fun. Anyway, what let's go into before we do shout outs at the end. What I'm watching in the lab, Shogun on Hulu. Have you been watching?
I have been watching. I haven't seen the last episode, the one that came out on the 12th.
Shogun's great. It's a great show. It's
so
I've been listening to the podcast after. They have a podcast on
Dude,
Apple.
I know. I've seen that. I haven't tuned into that, but I saw it. I'm like, dog, this is sick. Like I don't think many shows do that. I haven't seen it before, at least.
This show, from what I've learned and what they've said from it, it's so authentic from the Japanese culture, from the historical events.
You watch it dubbed, right? Or you watch it subbed?
No, I watch it subbed. Watching shit dubbed is fugazi. You're taking a lot out of the emotional value from. It's a lazy way to watch it, in my opinion. Yeah. But if you watch it dubbed, that's cool. But this show is so authentic, so real, and you're not only watching a great drama series, you're also learning a lot about Japanese culture and how the Eastern world operated in the 1600s, which when I watch a show or a series or a movie, a lot more than the dialogue and everything, I want to learn something. The dialogue's amazing. The acting is amazing. The main chick, the Japanese chick, is beautiful to watch. She's a very pretty woman. Shogun, go watch it. Go watch it on Hulu. Awesome show. Second show I'm watching right now in the lab is The Gentleman on Netflix. Great show.
Based off a movie, right?
I don't know. It's Richie. What's his name? Fuck. I always forget names.
Oh, you're talking about Guy Ritchie's or whatever?
Guy Ritchie. Yeah, Guy Ritchie. Yeah. Thank you. This is why I have a co-host. Guy Ritchie. It's English, basically, like based in England, where no spoilers. They have a lot of money and they get into a lot of like behind the scenes money deals and drugs and I'm telling you, it's 8 episodes. We're 4 episodes in now, and I love it. Great acting, great dialogue, quality series on Netflix. And then the last thing I have as far as what I watch or what I'm watching was I watched Poor Things the other day. Got 4 Oscar winnings. Emma Stone won Best Actress, leading actress in Poor Things. Emma Stone. And man, that is a phenomenal movie. I know there's some people out there that.
You watched the whole thing?
Yes. Well, what I did was me and Bree started it.
Watched it?
So the first 15, 20 minutes, we started it in bed. And then after knowing we had to lock in, we stopped it because we were like, all right, let's watch it tomorrow. And then that's what we did. I'm telling you, we intently watched it, phone down. Visually, dialogue, Plot. It's the way I could describe it is it's an original Frankenstein modern version, but it's back in like the 30s or 40s based on I couldn't even describe it properly. You just got to watch it. It won best actress, it won best makeup, best dress, best cinematography or something like that, where I'm telling you the first half of the movie's in black and white, second half of the movie's in color, and great acting, great dialogue, everything. It's must see. So I will watch it with you, your girl, telling you it's a great movie to sit down. It's 2 hours, 2+ hours, quality. First of all, I didn't think it was gonna. I mean, I didn't have any expectations really. It's a lot of sex involved. So if you're watching it with a significant other,
sex.
if you watch it with a significant other, there's about an hour of the 2.5 hours where there's sex. So you might have to pause it a little bit and get after it real quick, or after the movie, you might have to get after it. But it's a lot more sexual than I thought it would be. But that doesn't take away from the story, the plot, everything that goes into it. So highly recommended. Out of 10, I'd give it personally like an 8.9. Like, yeah, it's high 8s, low 9s for sure. So that's all I got.
So I got a question for someone watching right now. They want to know if you watched From Couple to Thruple. It's trending on the cock.
No, I haven't seen that.
No.
Should I watch it?
I don't know.
Is that a real thing?
It's
Couple to thruple. I'm looking it up now. What's it called? Couple?
I'm looking that up. From Couple.
Oh, I
to
see
Thruple.
it. I see it. Oh no, that's a reality show.
Yeah, that's right up your alley, bro.
All right, pause. I'll tell Bree to watch it, and then if Bree wants to invite me in, I'll watch it.
You're gonna do. She wants to invite me in. That's a crazy thing you say talking about this show.
First of all, it's a little disrespectful to go from Poor Things to Couple to Thruple. So that's a little crazy. Because after you watch this movie, it is. I'm telling you, when you talk about cinema, start to finish, it's brilliant.
You feel so disrespected. You're like, I can't believe this dude.
Listen, if you guys are listening and watching, I'll never recommend a movie unless it was worth your 2.5 hours. That movie is worth your time for sure. So
I respect
Poor
your
Things.
cinema criticism.
And we should do that. Maybe next
it.
episode we'll do some top 5 movies, because that's what we do with our close friends. We like, all right, what's your top 5 movies? And that tells a lot about a person.
Agreed.
It does. It does.
Absolutely.
Anything news? Shout outs. I have one shout out, but I'll wait for you.
So we got a question finally on Lab Talk. I gotta start posting on the story again, since we got more.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We got more viewers and subscribers and people tuning in, and posted on the Twitter and whatnot. So we got a question in the email, and it says, "Hello, smiley face. Quick question for y'all. Do you believe in astrological compatibility? Thoughts on astrology girls / people who justify behaviors based on astrology? Thank you." Do you want me to go first, or would you like to lead this off?
You go first.
Me go first? Okay. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I've read sometimes my horoscopes back in the day, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, you know what? That's kind of on point. I'm not mad at it. I can see why. And obviously, like, the time you were born and the day you were born and whenever, it does affect you in some kind of way. I'm not going to say it doesn't. You know, obviously it does. But also, I am not a fan of people that base their personality off one thing.
Yes.
You know, and if you're trying to get me to read this every day, or you're basing your whole day off of what an app says, or what your chart says, or whatever, and it goes on, and it could go from you having a you start your day off right, and then you read that, and then the rest of your day is just bad because of what you read on somewhere. I'm not. I'm just not even gonna entertain it. Like I'm not gonna. I'll talk to you tomorrow, or I'll talk to you whenever your horoscope says, "Hey, you're gonna have a good day, and we're gonna be cool, and we're gonna be compatible." Then we can talk. So, if it's overbearing, it's not for me, honestly. And there are people. I'm not gonna say just women, but there are people that base their day-to-day lives on what that says and their relationships, and sometimes you can take away or block whatever you have just because of that. And I don't think that it should revolve around your day-to-day or just everything in your life. I don't think there's anything wrong with astrology girls or anything like that. I think it's kind of hot, but also just don't overdo it.
I think I could
That's my
agree
point
with
of
that. Where it's like if you have a basis of that mentality, that's cool. That's fine. It's everybody gets their source of being with somebody, whether it's religious, horoscopes, or just vibes. I get it. That's cool. But if you're basing your everyday relationships, whether it's friends, whether it's significant other, I don't think that's gonna put you in a good position long term, because at the end of the day, you still need to read and relate. You need to have a realistic approach in things. And I tend to be somebody that's way on the scale of realistic approach, where it's be real with yourself, understand what you like, what you want in real time at the moment, not based on whether the moon is high, whether the moon is low, whether it's you were born on March 23rd or you were born on March 27th. If you're basing your life on that,
March 27th.
so be it. That's what I mean. So like if you're basing your life on that or your relationships on that, cool. My mind says that you're probably not going to be very successful in gaining a significant other. If you at least consider it or you think about it and then you deal in real time and what something could be, that's cool too. But it all comes down to your vibes with somebody, your conversations. Do you relate? And nothing's going to be perfect. I think all the relationships that I've seen and that I'm in now currently probably were meant to be, right? Like being realistic about it. It's like when I look at my significant other, it's like, we probably 9 times out of 10, we probably shouldn't be together, but it's because we live life and we can relate, and things that person's been through, things that I've been through, things that we can relate, things that we vibe with. We're okay with being alone with each other. Stuff like that is more important than, oh, you were born in January and I was born in September.
Yeah.
Like if I valued that mentality over what I just said, like what are we really doing? Like I'm going to base on you're born in January, I'm born this month. So that means we're incompatible or not, or we are compatible. If that's what I'm going on through, like 90% of it, yeah, then you're not going to find your genuine one. But if you consider it a little bit and then figure it out, but like, man, those people that are all about horoscopes, that live by it, die by it, anything you live by and die by, you're going to die by it.
I'll tell you this, though.
That's it.
I'll tell you this. I don't fuck with Pisces women.
See, I don't even have that philosophy.
Geminis, bro.
Yeah, see, I don't even.
Dude, Pisces women have hurt me so much in my life.
Listen, I respect you as a human, and I don't agree with that only because there's never been somebody I dated where I'm like, oh, no, never mind. We can't do that. That's just me. I've never considered it. Will I think about it for 5 minutes and be like, all right, that gives me a synopsis. But
a synopsis.
There's no way I'm going to be able to be like, hey, we could get along. We could be like, most of my best friends are the opposites of me.
Right.
Like me and you relate a lot, But you're in general opposite of me. And then most of the people that I've had relationship with, even the one that I'm married to, is opposite of me, where it's like, what are you trying to look for? You're going to look for everybody that's opposite or everything that's the same. You're not going to find the true result in that. So I don't agree with the end all be all in horoscopes. Not for me, and not for anybody I've ever talked to where it's like, that's worked. Hey, has that worked out for you? Okay. It probably hasn't. Most likely hasn't worked out for you.
Facts. No, I love me an Aries woman though. But if you all watch this and you saw this and you want more of this, it's very simple. All you have to do is send a quick email.
Yep.
You can,
What's
leave
the
it
email?
anonymous. Enter the lab podcast at gmail.com.
There you go.
That's
Let
it.
me
Type in your question. It could be whatever you want. It could be
or send a DM to the
relationship,
pod and we'll
personal.
get
Yeah,
to it
send a
and then you
DM.
could view it. And then we'll send you a
That's
clip.
it.
If you don't watch the whole episode, we'll send you a clip
Right.
based
about what we
on
talked about.
our answer, just to make it more simple. Let's get to shout outs. I do have one shout out. One thing I want to shout out that I wanted to get to last week was Nick's Pizza is established
Yes.
in Deerfield
Let's
Beach.
get it.
I don't know your relationship, but you could follow up on me after I say this. Is we know them, following them, Vibin DMs here and there. Now they're opening up a second location in Pompano Beach, which happens to be literally 0.3 miles, one stoplight. I have one pizzeria that I go to, but now I only have one because once they open up in April, I'm only going to have one pizzeria that I go to because I have a relationship through the podcast with them. So Nick's Pizzeria in Deerfield, now Pompano Beach, they're opening up. They're taking over another pizzeria that I would, in layman's terms, I guess they failed because they weren't doing that well. I actually bought a
Right.
pizza from them like 6 months ago. It was okay. So I'm excited. I could take the golf cart. I could walk there literally. So
Literally,
I'm
yeah.
excited. Shout out Nick's Pizzeria for opening up their second franchise location. And they're opening up in April. We're going to promote it. I'm going to promote it personally. They're doing a grand opening where they're going to give out some free food. I'll be there
Nice.
as
yeah.
a representation of this podcast. But what's your relationship with them?
So-
Do you?
I just know Didi, and I've known Didi since high school. And Didi, man, he is, from what I've seen on his Instagram and the Nick's Pizzeria Deerfield Beach Instagram, he's probably one of the most hardworking people. This dude just goes in, locks in, makes his pizza. They got wings. They got everything that you can think of. And he'll make
excited.
20, 25 pizzas. They made a bunch of pizzas for Boca Bash. They do stuff for events. This dude just locks in, and they're great at their craft. They're great.
Yeah,
at their
family
pizza.
business been open for I probably misquoting on the years, but I think I've
25
seen
plus
60.
years, I think.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely more than 25 from what I've seen. So
So
shout out
I mean,
them.
I was gonna say, yeah, if they open that close to your house and you're getting pizza somewhere else,
That's
it's
my new
fade on
spot.
site. Fade on site when
I'm
see
excited, dude.
You. So
I'm
shout out
excited.
them, no, for sure. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's gonna be my new spot
You
going
texted
to.
me.
And
You texted me. You're like, dude, they're opening right next to the crib.
bro, I'm telling you, I DM'd him immediately once I seen it, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna be there day one. So I'm looking forward to the updates, everything. So shout out Nick's Pizzeria. If you live in Pompano, if you live in Deerfield or in the area, support a family-owned business that is expanding. So I'm excited to get my first slice from them in the next few weeks.
Fuck yeah.
Any
That's
shout outs
awesome.
on your end?
No, I can't think of anything
Okay.
right now.
All right, cool.
Just, dude,
Almost 2 hours.
We're almost 2 hours. Yeah, this is probably our longest episode in a long time, besides episode 100. But that first hour flew by.
Yeah, it did. You just woke up, so you probably woke up in the first 30 minutes.
No, that's not it. That's not why.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why, but it was just a lot
No, it's
faster
all
than
good.
normal.
I'm just kidding. All right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Lock it in.
Yeah,
We
go
see all
like,
the
subscribe, follow, link in bio.
We see all the views on Twitter. Maybe we have to do a lot more promos on Twitter to get people viewing. But if you're on Twitter right now, viewing,
Yeah,
like the actual post, and then go to our links and definitely subscribe. It lets us know that at least we're doing something that people want to view.
If you see something that has nothing to do with us, but you want to hear our 2 cents, I don't know why you would, but we're just a bunch of fucking degenerates and I don't know what else, but
we'll get people on. Maybe we'll get Nick's Pizza on to promote.
We can get Nick's Pizza on for sure.
Some pizza, we'll have a little promo code and all that. Yeah, let's talk to them this week because they're opening up in April. So maybe at the end of this month we'll get that going. So for episode 117, I am Elvis Escobar. He is Fort Sama. Enter the lab, exit the lab. Peace, y'all.